Not really where you expect me to start by talking about a new model introduction, a new brand introduction. Why am I back here? Well, one, you can hear me more clearly because the crowd's on the other side and it's super crowded. Huge amount of interest. That's no surprise, right? We're talking about the arrival of Tesla, something we've all waited for months, years, in fact. This is the Model Y. This is the long range. As you can see, it's very much mentioned there on the boot lid. And this is one of two variants that are being launched here, the rear-wheel drive and the long range. You don't have the other variants that are in other markets. And for now, when it comes to pricing that you can see on your screens, this is what we are getting. So pretty much stock cars in terms of being fairly fully loaded, 19-inch wheels. That is standard again for the India spec. This is also the facelift of the Model Y that arrived in markets end of last year. And so you can see the slimmer look with that connected LED lighting up front. And it does look very modern. Now, the question is it worth that kind of price? Well, the duty structure is such that the prices do go that high and this becomes super premium. In a sense of comparison, which is not really fair, but if you think about just doing an absolute conversion comparison, we're talking 35 to 40 lakh rupee price band for this car in the US. But here it becomes, well, of course, 55 to 67, that sort of a price band. So is that fair or not? Well, that's a whole other question. Of course, in the US, you don't get just a regular rear-wheel drive. So when I say 35, 37 lakhs, we're talking about the long range. Now, there will be supercharger locations. That goes with the Tesla ecosystem. So it's not just about the car. The company promises a network. It's going to grow, but for starters, you only have sales opening up in Gurgaon, New Delhi, and Mumbai. Here in BKC is where you have this experience center. You'll have one coming up in Aero City in New Delhi very soon. But the point I want to make is that you would have a big network at some point. For now, you've got 4 superchargers per sort of charging hub. And so 4 such hubs, which means 16 superchargers at these locations: Thane, Lower Parel, BKC, where I am right now, Navi Mumbai. And then for NCR, it's Aero City, Saket, Noida, and Golf Coast Road in Gurgaon. So fairly premium locations, no surprise. And then you'll also have something called destination chargers, which won't be as fast. Those will be set up on the highway. Where, which highways, and how many? We don't know all those details yet. But what I can say is that the Delhi cluster will have 15 of those. And here you'll have 16 of those. Or have I got that the other way around? The point is, you'll have that. And then you'll also have that wall box, which is back there. All the way back there. Yep, go ahead, walk up to it. That's going to be free at the start for people who book the car in the third quarter, the quarter we are in. The deliveries for the rear-wheel drive will begin in this quarter, promises Tesla. And before that, some of this charging network I talked about will be up and running. The deliveries for the long range, that's going to begin in the following quarter, so before the end of the year. So that's when you'll have the deliveries happening, of course, to just those 3 cities I mentioned. Other cities, well, it's a promise that the network's going to grow, and it's a promise that they'll go to other cities. Which cities, when, and how quickly? No comment on that. So we'll wait and see how that goes. Now, the last point here is, would you like to see more of these models, other models from Tesla also arriving in our market? What do you think about the pricing? And what do you think about the Model Y? Leave a comment below. And of course, I'll also give you a glimpse of the interior. If you haven't seen it on social media, you'll see it right here on this channel. Well, the Model Y is all about trying to be spacious, that extra bit of sense of space you get from the panoramic roof. Is that practical for India? Well, we'll wait and see about that, how it does in harsh, very extreme sunlight. But everything minimalist. And don't forget that this car is now updated. This is the facelifted version that we're getting in India, which means all the latest updates, including material and trim updates as well, is what you can see in this cabin. Now, the cabin's always been all about being Spartan, and that big screen dominates all proceedings. That's not surprising. That's what Tesla's overall philosophy has been when it comes to design and functionality. And so you see a whole lot going on here on the screen itself. Now, that's also something that takes getting used to, because you've got every kind of adjustment that happens through there, including how to adjust even your outside mirrors or your steering wheel. Now, the driving experience is, of course, not something you can talk about. The material quality and the trim finish is pretty good. I have to say it feels nice and premium. And you know what? At this price point, it better feel nice and premium. There's a lot of space everywhere. There's also the wireless charger, which is nice. I've already got my phone there charging. And you know what? The ambient lighting is also very slim and interestingly done. This is something that we've seen on Teslas before, but of course on the Model Y, it also gives you this sense of being sort of wrap around. It wraps around you literally, including in the back seat as well. Now, tons of space. You can see the rear seat has been folded down by someone, and you can see it's a huge boot as well with the hatch open. So, well, the car is already telling me that the passenger door is open, the hatch is open. Lots of technology. The car relies on that, and I can't wait to experience it on the road.